All right, welcome back to yet another lesson of prepositions. Now, earlier we had understood that prepositions are of three types. Either they could be fundamentally accusative or they could be dative, and then we have prepositions which can be both accusative or dative. Can you tell me how? Yes, by answering the question wo or wohin. The prepositions in the middle. If the question is wo, it'll be dative. If the question is wohin, it'll be accusative. So wo means static position and wohin means movement. Yes. So here are some verbs which we'll be understanding with the help of static position and movement and trying to understand what kind of prepositions would be used with these verbs and what kind of a verb we are looking at. Yes. So the verb is hängen. Yes. Now the verb is hängen, and let's figure out more about the verb later on in the lesson. For now, let me delete this. It is to hang. Yes. Stellen, it's to keep. Yes. Or stehen is standing. Yes. To stand. To be standing. Yes. Legen is to lay. Liegen is to be lying. Setzen is to put. Sitzen is to be sitting. Stecken is to plug or to put in. Yes. So what we need to do here is we have certain sentences. We need to find out what should be the right question, wo oder wohin, and accordingly, when we know it's wo oder wohin, we need to make the answer according to the accusative or dative. Yes. For example, let's understand it better by looking at it. Dash hängt das Bild. Where does the image or the picture hang? Yes. So the question is wo. Wo hängt das Bild? Das Bild hängt an dash Wand. So basically wo, as we learned earlier, is dative. Yes. So we'll be using, let's make this a little bigger so that people can see it even properly. Yes. So it's more likable. Yes. Let's make a little space. So we are talking about prepositions that is an. Now an, you could figure it out, it's in the middle list. So we don't know is it accusative or dative. We need to determine by looking at the question. The question is where is the picture hanging? That's wo. Wo is immer dative. So we know that we'll need to make dative here. So Wand is feminine. So will we choose die or der? Right? It's them, der, them, den. So we'll choose der, feminine. So instead we'll write here der. Yeah. Das Bild hängt an der Wand. Yes. The picture hangs on the wall. Now in English you say on, in German you say an, which is like at. So we always remember the thumb rule. Never ever compare German and English prepositions. You just can refer to them to understand them, but not compare them. Okay. Dash hängt John das Bild. To where does John hang the picture? John hängt das Bild an dash Wand. Now, to where does John hang the bild is wohin. It shows movement. He's picking up the picture and hanging it somewhere. So the question is wohin hängt John das Bild? And the answer is John hängt das Bild an. Now, an is a Wechselpräposition. It comes in the middle row. We'll need to find out the question is wo oder wohin. It's in front of us. Wohin. Das bedeutet, es ist accusative. That means we'll write Wand in accusative. That's, what is it? Wand is feminine. Accusative is den, die, das, die. So we'll write die. Yeah. John hängt das Bild an die Wand. Fantastic. Dash stellt John die Harry Potter Bücher. Yes. Now basically stellen, as we understand, is to keep. To where does John keep the Harry Potter books? So there is movement. We'll say wohin stellt John die Harry Potter Bücher. John. Okay, let's make it for John. It's written for ish. Let's change the sentence. John stellt die Harry Potter Bücher auf das Regal. Now, auf, as we know, is an accusative preposition. You could, a Wechselpräposition. It comes in the middle row. So we need to determine, is it accusative or dative? Now, the question is wohin. So it has to be accusative. Regal is neutrum. So we'll write here, der, den, die, das. That's das. So John stellt die Bücher auf das Regal. Fantastic. So moving forward, dash stehen die Harry Potter Bücher. Where are the Harry Potter books standing or kept? Yes. Or it'll be wo stehen die Harry Potter Bücher? Where are the Harry Potter books standing? The Harry Potter Bücher stehen. Okay. Stehen auf das Regal. Now the verb is stehen. Stehen is to be standing. Now where they're standing on the, what is a regal? It's a shelf. Yes. So the question is basically the preposition is auf. It's a Wechsel preposition. The question is wo. So auf will become dative and we'll write auf. Regal is neutrum. So dem, der, dem. We write auf dem Regal. Perfect. Moving forward, dash legt John sich. So basically, to where does John lay himself? So to where is wohin? Yes, let's write wohin. Okay, let's write it here. Not to change the genau formatting. So wohin legt John sich? John legt sich auf das Gras. John lays himself on the grass. So basically, wohin is the question. That means the preposition auf, which is a Wechsel preposition, has to be accusative. That means Gras is neutrum. In accusative, it will be den, die, das, die. It will be den, die, das. Very good. John legt sich auf das Gras. Now, moving forward, dash liegt John. Now, where is John lying? So where is John lying? It's wo liegt John? Yes. And John liegt auf. Now, wo is basically dative question. Auf is a Wechsel preposition in the middle row. So we'll choose auf to be dative and we'll write here auf Gras in neutrum. In dative it will become dem, der, dem, den. So it will be dem. Yes, neutrum. Dash setzt John das Handy. Okay, where does John put the mobile? Yes. So it's to where does John put the mobile? It's wohin. Wohin setzt John das Handy? Very good. Let's find out. So John, okay, little. Okay, got it back. John setzt das Handy. John puts the handy auf das Tisch. Now, wohin is accusative. Auf is a Wechsel preposition. That means we need to make it into accusative. Tisch is masculine, den, die, das, die. So it will be den. So John setzt das Handy auf den Tisch. Okay, John puts the mobile on the table. Dash sitzt das Handy. Where is the mobile sitting? Yes. So it will be wo ist sitzt das Handy. Das Handy sitzt auf das Tisch. So basically the mobile sitting on the table. So it's wo is dat. Wo is Wechsel dative. It's a question for dative. Yes, wo. And the preposition auf is a Wechsel preposition. We'll make it dative. So it will be auf. Tisch is masculine. Dem, der, dem, den. So it will be den. Das Handy sitzt auf dem Tisch. Dash steckt John den Brief. So where does John put the letter? Now stecken is to put in, so it's like to where, wohin, movement. Yes, John steckt den Brief in. Now basically it's in is again a Wechsel preposition. We need to choose, is it accusative, dative? Wohin means it's accusative. So we'll make briefcast in accusative. It's masculine. So it's den, die, das, die. We'll write again den. Very good. So John steckt den Brief in den Briefkasten. Yeah, super duper. Okay, now what we'll do, we have learned certain verbs and we'll see now if those verbs were accusative or dative. Now we first learned the verb hängen. Wo hängt John das, wo hängt das Bild? Where is the picture hanging? Yes. So in this case, you could actually determine that hängen can be used as a dative verb. Yes, because it's dealing with the question wo. And then again, we go on to say wohin hängt John das Bild? To where does John hang the bild? So hängen again is the same verb, but it is being used as accusative. So the verb is both dative and accusative. Yes, fantastic. Moving forward, wohin stellt John die Harry Potter Bücher? Stellen is to keep. So basically the question is wohin, that's an accusative question. So that's the only sentence we made with stellen. The others are with stehen. Yes. So stellen, as far as is concerned, to keep, it's always an accusative verb. There'll always be movement when you keep something. So when you use stellen, it'll always be accusative. Okay. Then we say the Bücher, let's say, yeah, genau. Wo stehen die Harry Potter Bücher? Die Harry Potter Bücher stehen auf dem Regal. So the verb stehen is being used with wo, and you'll determine that stehen, whenever you use, it'll always be dative. It's a fixed position. It's a fixed position, stehen, so we'll always say dative. Yes, to be staying, to be standing in a particular position, static position. So that's dative, yeah. Okay, moving forward, legen means to lay. We made a sentence with legen. Let's see what it is. Wohin legt John sich? John legt sich. Wohin legt John sich? John legt sich auf das Gras. So to lay. So to lay is basically, we are making it with wohin. And since it's an accusative question here, we can determine that legen is always accusative. Whenever you lay something, there is movement. So you could determine that legen is accusative verb. Similarly, liegen, we said, what was the question? Wohin, or wo liegt John? Where is John lying? John liegt auf dem Gras. John is lying on the grass. So basically you saw that when the verb is liegt, the question is wo, which is a dative question. That means the verb liegen will always and always be dative. Yes? Okay. Lying. Okay, setzen, to put. Yes, so it was John setzt, oder wohin setzt John das Handy? So the question is wohin, and the answer was John setzt das Handy auf den Tisch, accusative. So we saw the question is wohin with setzen. That means the verb setzen is always accusative. Yes, whenever you put something, there'll always be movement. Sitzen, sitzen is to be sitting. So it's wo sitzt das Handy? Where is the mobile sitting? Das Handy sitzt auf dem Tisch. So basically, again, we could understand sitzen, on the other hand, is always dative because the question is wo. So we could write here dative. Yes. Perfect. Fantastic. Okay, moving forward, the verb is stecken, to put in. So it was basically wohin steckt John den Brief? To where does John put in the brief? John steckt den Brief in den Briefkasten. So as you can see, the verb is to put, and whenever you put something, it's always accusative. So it will be accusative, wohin. Yes. So we could surmise that hängen is both dative, accusative. A picture can be hanging. You can also hang a picture. Stellen, to keep, is always accusative. You keep something. Ich stelle die Bücher auf dem, ich stelle die Bücher auf das Regal. Yes, I keep the book on the shelf. Or the Bücher stehen auf dem Regal. So stellen is always accusative, stehen is always dative. Okay. Okay, ich lege mich auf das Sofa. Again, legen is always accusative whenever you lay something. It's accusative. Liegen, ich liege auf dem Sofa. It's always dative, to be lying in one position. It's just describing a position. Wo und setzen, the question was wo setzt du das Handy? Where do you put the mobile? To put, always accusative. Ich, das Handy sitzt auf dem Tisch. Sitzen, to be sitting, it's always dative. Yes. And stecken, it's to plug, to put in, it's always accusative as well. So just see if a verb is having movement or not. Accordingly, you could find out if that particular verb is accusative or dative. Fantastic. On the basis of wo and wohin. So join me next. We'll continue with a little practice and we'll see how it goes. So this is John Berlin signing off till the next lesson.